Well, it's that time of year again here in North Idaho. Spring thaw 2019. It's going to be a mess, just like always. So I got to get prepared. I'm probably a day late. I should have done this yesterday, but I was too busy screwing around, letting the chickens out stretch their legs. But no big deal. It's early enough. I've got a little bit of time, but I've got to get busy. So mainly my routine this time of year is I've got to start shuffling these rigs around so that I can get in and out. And it usually involves quite a bit of walking in, dragging a sled with my groceries and whatnot, but that's what I signed up for. First order of business, I've got to get this little pickup of mine, my daily driver. Got to get him across the main driveway here and parked in a little hollowed out spot that I carved out over by the cedar grove. Second order of business, I've got to walk up the river road about a mile. I'll take you with me. I've been storing my orange Ford at a friend's place that's out of town under a carport for the last few snow dumps. But I've got to get her down here in order to get in and out come probably mid-April. This little guy here runs out of clearance, and I've got to have a big pickup with high clearance to get in and out of here. But and then after I get that done, I've got to get this plow truck, and I put a pretty cool sign on the plow blade there that says Thaw 2019 closed, and that's going to go perpendicular with my driveway here to block it off. Now, reason I'm doing that, I brought in a bunch of rock on my main driveway, just my little personal driveway here, about 4 years ago. And last year, unfortunately, somebody drove in here about I don't know, probably week or two from this time and absolutely destroyed my driveway. So I had a friend come in with a box rake and clean it up, but it wiped out almost all my gravel. This is going to be a disaster, and I don't want to go through that again. I'll bring in more rock this next season, but as of right now, we're not going to drive on it. It'll ruin it. So I'll take you along with me, show you how it's done. That's going to be that fella's home for the next month and a half or so. Well, apparently I picked the right time to film this. The neighbors are feeding cows. But I'll show you how nasty this is getting, and this is just the beginning of it. We're starting to get ruts, but nothing like what's coming up. So, it's headed up the driveway. Something I'd like to mention too is that I park here, and pretty shortly, these neighbors that live way down here with the cows, they're going to start parking right about where that snow mound is on the left. And they've got to walk all the way down to their cabin, which is 1,000 feet, I'm guessing. So they've got to pack their stuff in and out as well. But this is what we do every year. This driveway's holding up okay, and we're going to keep it that way. These ruts are only about 4 and 5 inches deep right now. Okay, this here is only about 200 feet from my driveway, but this is one of our worst spots. It gets real good sun, and it's an absolute mess. These ruts are getting kind of deep. The rest of this driveway here probably won't get affected for the next week or so because of the sunshade, but it's going to get bad. This here's another bad spot. I don't think I need to show you all of them, but oh, it's starting to get mushy. And now my creek has not opened up yet, but I'm sure the main creek up here, Hell Roaring Creek, is going to start flowing pretty heavy here pretty soon, and then it'll open up my creek. But that's what they're for, spillways. And this right here, not yet, but it's by far one of the worst areas. I mean, I can hardly get through this at some time. going through a puddle. As you can see here, this is still pretty icy, and it takes a while for the sun to get this stuff to melt. So this does become a disaster probably 2 weeks from now. And there's a good chance this is where I'll be parking. So about 20 feet off the main road here. And I've done it before, but I think this year, you know, we were lucky enough to get a bunch of snow before it got real cold. So this ground might only be frozen 18 inches down, which will make it a blessing, because normally it's over 2 feet and it takes a long time to thaw out. So we'll head up the river road now, check out the creek. Well, I'm getting some pretty bad shadows on my screen here, but looks good on the lens, I think. So this is Hell Roaring Overflow, and I don't see any signs of the culverts. Makes me a little nervous. And you can hear Hell Roaring doing its thing, and it's definitely picked up a bit. But this here is just the extra overflow when the main creek starts to go overboard, and then it goes down through my land. So we'll walk up to the main creek and see what it's doing. This is actually pretty mellow for this time of year. It's going to live up to its name here in a little while. So this is the main Hell Roaring Creek, which feeds my overflow, and there's no reason for my overflow right now. That's going to change in no time. And this just so happens to be the little cabin across the road here that we filmed the snow carved projector screen video. But they're still in bed. They were out late last night. And we're just walking away. About a quarter of the way there. Don't know if you can see that view, but it's awful pretty in person. I just love this road. All right, we're almost there. Now I want to show off this mailbox post without taking too much time. The reason we put all our mailbox on swingers for the plow trucks. So this particular mailbox here, all of the wood came from my land, and me and my buddy designed this together and put it up together, and it's definitely one of the most prettiest ones on the road. All out of cedar with some deer antlers. And I pulled the pickup out yesterday to let the bed thaw out. It was full of snow. Looks like it made progress. There she is up there, waiting to be back at home. So I made pretty quick work of that walk. That's funny, I just connected to their Wi-Fi. Made pretty quick work of that walk. I don't know, 8/10 of a mile, probably 15 minutes, but I was plugging right along. So we'll get her warmed up and out of here. I've got the hubs locked in now, and did this just in the nick of time. This is nothing compared to what it's going to be, but it's not two-wheel drive. So I cut in this secondary driveway here for this reason and this reason only. Now it's nothing but topsoil underneath this snow, but it'll allow me to get in and out without having to tear up my gravel driveway, which is going to be a mess anyways. So unfortunately, I've got about 1.5 to 2 feet of snow still right at this beginning of the driveway here, but I'm going to try to hop an Abigail and power through it. So I think 4 high is going to be enough. I just got to get a good run at it, and yeah, good chance I'll get stuck, but if anybody can make it, she can. So here we go. Let's hope for the best. See if I can get some traction on this mud. Oh, not a problem for this old girl at all. We're there. Pulled the plow truck forward about 40 feet, ran out of fuel. Now, she hasn't had a working fuel gauge in, well, ever since I've owned her. And couldn't have been a better time to run out. Only thing I've got in the compound is non-ethanol for my small engines. And so I'm going to go ahead and pull some out of Abigail here, get it in the plow truck, get the plow truck staged. We'll go from there. So most folks might think that the toughest part of living in North Idaho is the 4-month winters with a ton of snow. It really comes down to this month and a half. This makes it by far the worst time of year. But like I said, that's what I signed up for.